Hi, I'm Dr. Jeff with Muscle Movement Therapy. We have a different approach for better results. What we're going to go through today is tendinopathies. We might have heard of this as tendonitis or tendinosis, but a broader umbrella term that we use is tendinopathies, kind of our thoughts, processes, and where the research has led us in on tendon issues has got us away from the itis and osis, where we thought there was an inflammatory stage and this other stage, to getting more into like a reactive, degenerative state where we have a reaction on a degeneration. Basically, there's some scar tissue that develops when we overuse something or something is pulled too much. And within the tendon, it creates almost like this little bit of a scar, and that scar tissue has been not along the same collagen fibers and it's not parallel. So you're kind of to see like this more of like this matrix that doesn't really look correct. There's no cross-sectioning. So this is where we use different tools and things like that from treatment to kind of help break up that area and then to try to get those areas to look better, to get rid of some of that scar tissue. But one of the things that I commonly hear is that, oh, I didn't stretch enough and I didn't do this enough, when actually that may not be true. And what we want to do is start to get into maybe what we need to be doing for our warm-ups and maybe what we need to be doing for our tendons away from our event, and what we can actually do during our other times we can do to help protect our tendons rather than just stretch it out. One of my favorite graphs that I use and I talk about is the Venn diagram of flexibility and strength. Usually what we usually think about is like, oh, we need to have all this flexibility to stay healthy and to keep our tendons nice and loose so we don't pull them or we don't tear them. And then there's the strength side. So what we want to be is in this middle area right through here, and that's where that overlap happens. What we tend to do is either do one too much or the other too little. So we'll work on this, and we might work on this right before an event when that diminishes what our strength is, but then we need to be explosive at it. So we'll overstretch something right before our event, either pickleball or golf, and then what ends up happening is it's not sitting in this part, it's sitting in this part, which when we go to our other graph here, and this is flexibility and then our risk for injury. So it's kind of like a U-shaped thing here. So we're gonna pretend over here, this is where we have somebody that has no flexibility at all. And then over here, we're gonna go to our hypermobile. And then on these, the edge of these spectrums is gonna be like our dancers and gymnastics is gonna be. Here we'll probably just say it's our power athletes. These are over here where they don't have much mobility because they're all strength. They definitely need to work on flexibility more because we want to end up at this bottom of the U here. At some point, there's a point where you have too much flexibility or too much strength where there's diminishing return. So we just have to have it kind of like in that Goldilocks where it's just right. There is nothing that's going to 100% prevent injury. So what we have to do is kind of play through here. So what we want to do is end up not being here, but recognize what side of the curve we're on. If we're over here, we do need to work on some flexibility, but we probably don't have to work on it to where we're over here. And we don't have to work on it where it's over here right before an event, because we're not used to using some sort of flexibility in our power event or in our explosive event. It leads us to actually a risk of injury rather than preventing injury.